Welcome to my video where I'll be knitting puff sleeves according to a 1940s knitting manual. I'm currently designing a jumper which I want to do puff sleeves for. However, when I search how to knit puff sleeves on the internet, the results come up with sleeves that look too bottom heavy for me. I collect vintage knitting manual books, and one of them is called Practical Knitting Illustrated, and it was printed back in 1947. As well as containing several knitting patterns, it also has chapters at the back that advise how to change and adapt these patterns, including using different stitch patterns, using different colour work, as well as how to size it. In one of the chapters, it talks you through how to change the neckline of the patterns that I mentioned in the book previously, but the thing that interested me most was how to adapt the sleeves into puff sleeves. And on the next page it went into more detail and also gave you a handy diagram. So it said to adapt it was to knit up to the decrease for about an inch, and then add either 3, 4 or 5 inches before decreasing again. So I used some yarn from my stash that I wasn't using for anything else in particular, and set about knitting 4 sleeves. So at first I knitted a normal sleeve pattern that I found online. I knitted it in a small size so I could do it quickly, and then I had something to compare it to with the other ones that I would adapt. So after I knitted a normal sleeve as according to the pattern, I then knitted a sleeve that had 3 extra inches to it, another one that was 4 inches, and another one that was 5 inches. And in the next bit of the video I will show you side by side and talk you through what I did with those. So this is the completed normal sleeve that I did, and as you can see the difference between that and the one where I added 3 inches. So I would knit to the decrease for like the armpit, and then it said to knit for either 1 or 2 inches before knitting without shaping for either 3 or 4 inches, like is this one that we're looking at now, or 5 inches, which is the next one, before decreasing again for the shoulder. It didn't specify in the book either how you would set in the sleeve, whether it had to sort of ease it in or do gathering stitches. Since I didn't have another part of the jumper to set the sleeve in, I decided to go for the gathering stitch instead, just to try and give me as good an idea of what it would look like, even without the rest of the garment to set it into. So these are all the finished sleeves after I sewed up the central seam for the sleeve and gathered in the extra length. So they all are all different lengths still, so I did do a few extra gathering stitches. And the only mannequin that I had to hand was my male mannequin, so it might look a little bit odd. So I've pinned them in place. So this is the normal sleeve, just to try and get an idea of what it would look like. And then the next one is the one where I added 3 extra inches and then gathered it up. So you can see there's a little bit more fullness around the shoulder. And of course without an actual arm in, it's hard to see it really. So I've sort of had to try and use my imagination a little bit. And then this is the 4 inch. As you can see, a bit more fullness as well around the shoulder. So yeah, so it's getting there. Try and make it look a bit more puffy. And then in the next video it's the 5 inch. So yes, this is the 5 inch, and again you can see there's more fullness again as well. So I was trying to, because there's no human arm in there, to try and like pull it out a bit just to show what it, give you an idea what it would look like. So I'm not entirely certain what I think about it, and again it's because there's no completed garment to go with it, but I'm going to carry on and I'll come back with more of my experiments.